All right, I want to show you how to react and what to say to keep your status when you say, let's say you call a outbound lead. So somebody's requested information, they responded to a website, or maybe they responded to a Facebook ad, YouTube ad, whatever. They put in their name, email, phone number. They know somebody's calling them back. They just don't know who or when. And let's say that you make that call, and within that first 15 to 20 seconds, they say like, oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Listen, I'm really busy. Can you call me back later? Well, what do most salespeople do? Okay, most salespeople are like, oh, sure, John, what time can I call you back? Oh, tonight at 10:30 at night? Okay, and then they just lose their status because now you're in chase mode. You don't want to be in chase mode. So I'm going to show you some questions you can ask to get them to actually book on your calendar like a real time, so they actually call you back. And if they don't call, I'll show you what to do, okay? First of all, go down to the bottom of this video, hit the subscribe button. That's probably important for you. Hit the subscribe button, and to the right of that, or maybe the left, I don't know, somewhere in there, there's like a little bell. That's your notifications button. Hit the notifications button as well, so you get notified by YouTube every time I post a new training video, which I typically do 2 to 4 times a week. So a prospect says, hey, can you call me back later? I'm just really busy. I appreciate the call. Yeah, that's not a problem. So this is what you start. Yeah, not a problem. What I can do, so look at this right here. Yeah, not a problem. What I can do, Alex, if it helps, is I can give you my number, and you'll have to call me back maybe later today to see if I'd be available for you. Would that help? Now, that is a form of a status frame, okay? So what you don't want to do is be like, oh, sure, when can I call back? Why don't you call me today at 5:30? Okay, and then you call at 5:30 and magically they don't answer, right? Because you lowered your status. You look like you're in chase mode, like you're desperate, like you need the sale. So you just agree with them. You're not going to be mean, but you're just being neutral. You're an expert. Your time is very valuable, and you want to trigger that in their mind that you are an expert. Yeah, not a problem. What I can do though, John, just because of my schedule gets pretty busy, so if this helps, I can just give you my number and you'll just have to call me back, later today to see if I'm going to be available for you. Now, when I ask that question, when I say you'll have to call me back later today to see if I'm available for you, what does that mean in their mind? Well, when I say just to see if I'll be available for you, it means that you're busy. You've got lots of other clients. You don't need them to purchase what you're offering. You're busy, your company's very successful, you're very successful. So it gets them to look at you differently rather than somebody trying to chase them. They now just start to view you as a little bit of a higher status at that point. Now, here's what we have to do at that point. They'll say, yeah, sure, give me your number. That throws them off. I can assure you do that. They'll be like, yeah, sure, what's your number? That's a good thing to do. Yeah, okay, my number is 575-655-445. Then you're going to say this. Now, what's your time frame on getting back to me later today just to see if I am going to be in the office? Or what's your time frame on getting back to me later today to see if I really am going to be available for you? Well, I could call you back. I'm not quite sure. Maybe later in the week. I'm not really sure. Like I got a really busy schedule. It's the holidays. Can I call you back next week? Now, you can't take that. If you say, yeah, sure, call me back in a week, guess what? You know they're not going to call you back. And when you call them back when they were supposed to, guess what? 9 out of 10 times, you know they're not going to answer. I mean, you know it. Let's be real with each other, right? Okay, we already know this. Okay, so here's what you do. This is what's called an NEPQ calendar. Hopefully I'm spelling it right. Commitment. Okay, calendar commitment, all right? How do you do that? So the prospect says, well, I don't know, I'm really busy. Maybe if I can just call you later in the week. Can't accept that, so here's what you say. Well, possibly. It might be harder to randomly get a hold of me, like with my schedule. What I can do, though, if you have your calendar handy, is I can pull up mine and have you book a specific time with me. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that be appropriate? Okay. Now, let me show you what I mean by this, okay? Well, possibly. Now, it might be harder to randomly get a hold of me, like with my schedule, but what I can do, if you have your calendar handy, I can have you book a specific time with me. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that be appropriate? Or you could say, would that help you? Either or. Would that be appropriate or would that help you? Now, why do you do that? Because it positions you as a trusted authority, the expert whose time is very valuable, rather than position you at a lower status like you're just some other just like any other salesperson who they're just going to shrug off at any time. Now, if they don't call you back at that time, so you have that time booked in. Now, typically, when you have a time booked in, you're going to be the one that makes that call. But let's say you go back, and let me give you another example of how this might work, because sometimes you don't even need to use the calendar commitment. So sometimes you can go back here, and you can say, yeah, not a problem. What I can do if it helps is I can give you my number, and you'll have to call me back later today to see if I'd be available for you. And they'll be like, yeah, sure. Okay, and here's my number, blah, blah, blah. Now, what's your time frame on getting back to me later today just to see if I am going to be in the office? Well, let's see, it's noon today. I can probably call you back at about 1:30. Now, if they say that, you don't need to use the calendar commitment, okay? Okay, so you go ahead, okay, so 1:30, yeah, I should be available now. If I don't answer, just leave a voice message and text me. I might be on with another client, and then I'll just call you back, John. Okay, no problem. Now, let's say the appointment's at 3, and let's say you're sitting by the phone, and the prospect, John Smith, doesn't call at 3. What do? Do you just call right at 3, like right on the dot, like you're just needy? No. If he's supposed to call you, you wait about 3 minutes, maybe even 4 minutes after the time they're supposed to call you back. You don't want to seem desperate, like you're right on time. Salespeople that call right on time, I hate to tell you this, you look like you're desperate. Now, I don't mean like being late by 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, but especially now, if it's an inbound call that's booked on your calendar, that's different. Call on time. Call 30 seconds late or a minute late. That's not a big deal. But if it's an outbound lead that you're just randomly calling, that you're calling back, if you're a couple minutes late, don't worry about that, all right? Outbound and inbound are a little bit of a different type of sale there. All right, so you call about 3 to 4 minutes. If they haven't called you and you call back, hey, is this John? Yeah, John, Jeremy Miner. I'm a little bit behind schedule. I am available now. And then you go right into it. Hey, John, just Jeremy Miner, get back to you. I'm a little bit behind schedule. I just finished with the client, and then you go right into it, okay? So next time, do that. And like I said, if you say, what's your time frame on getting back to me later today? And they say, oh, I don't know, maybe I can call you later in this week, and they just give you some random, flaky thing, then you use the calendar commitment. Use the calendar commitment, you're going to notice that most of your prospects are actually there at the time they book, because now it's on the calendar. So take that to the bank. Make sure you subscribe if you want more training videos like this. I do a couple of these long form videos every week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so YouTube notifies you when I post a new video to help you sell more of your products and services. Join our free Facebook group. Go to www.salesrevolution.pro. We should have a link on here somewhere, salesrevolution.pro. Right when you join the salesrevolution.pro Facebook group, because we've got thousands of entrepreneurs in there, thousands of salespeople like you, thousands of coaches, consultants, executives in there that want to sell more. Right when you join, check your DMs, because we're going to message you. Some of my team's going to message you a free training called the NEPQ 101 mini course. It's going to give you a list of different questions and phrases you can use in any sales situation. That alone is going to help you sell more than what you're doing now. And we go live in the Facebook group about 3 to 4 times a week with different subject matter trainings, different Q&As, different client interviews that will also help you sell more. Join the Facebook group, salesrevolution.pro. See you there.